Is Colorado worth moving to? If you read a lot of articles online, and if you've been on Facebook anytime researching Colorado or anything like that, typically you're going to find that most people would agree Colorado is an amazing place to live, depending what area you were in on that side. And you'll also see other articles say that Colorado has seen a large decrease in population over the last few years. And in 2021, they said that they only had a population growth of like 0.59%, which is roughly, I think, was around like 40,000 individuals or so. And so, to me, it seems like there's a lot of people that are moving away from Colorado, but I think in reality, they're just migrating further away from the big metro cities like Denver and Colorado Springs. So let's jump into it today and talk about why it's still worth living here in Colorado, even with all the cons that come along with it on that side, and give you guys a perspective of why people are still moving to kind of the suburbs slash rural areas of Colorado and what they really have to offer on that side. So as always, my name is Connor Martin. I work here with Sukup Real Estate Services in Fort Collins, Colorado. I work anywhere from all the way down to Longmont up to Red Feather, Colorado, up into mountains, acreages. And we here at Sukup always love helping our buyers really figure out where they want to be if they are thinking about making their move to Colorado. So let's jump into it today. And if you guys could always do, please like, subscribe, and share. And let's see what Colorado's all about. So I think the biggest and one of the first reasons why we have seen a decrease in population in Colorado is because we've had such a strong population growth over the last 10 years. In 2015 was probably the highest amount of growth we saw in Colorado, with 100,000 people moving into Colorado from out of state, and not seeing many people leave on that side. As we've tapered through the years on that side, we did have a 2021 census that showed that we have seen a decrease in people actually moving here, but in particular moving out of places like Denver, moving out of places, kind of like Colorado Springs. They have seen some increases, but it's slowed down. They've also seen in areas like northern Colorado, out east in Colorado, some of the areas like Castle Rock, Parker, Elizabeth, large major increases. One of the biggest ones we've seen is actually over in Broomfield, Colorado. Broomfield was a really small just suburb of way far out Denver. I mean, it was really the farthest most people would like to commute for a job into Denver, because it still was going to be about a 35-minute drive depending on where you have to go. If you have to go to the south side of Denver, that's a pretty brutal drive coming even from Broomfield on that side. But Broomfield had a bunch of growth and activity, but it has slowed. Now, for most of us who's living in northern Colorado, even in southern Colorado, not really sure about Denver because I don't live there and don't spend much time there. But, it's felt like it has had a lot of population growth here, but we have also seen a lot of people move out as well. So it's been a nice, healthy, balance, I believe, on that side. We have been seeing a lot of new builds in the last, 7 years, 8 years here, because we've always had an inventory issue, especially up in the Fort Collins, Loveland area. But when I first moved here back in the 2015, 2016 time, it was pretty dead in Loveland. When I first moved out here, Fort Collins, was still bumping up because it's got Colorado State University. But Loveland, Windsor, Timnath, Colorado, they really stayed pretty docile for the longest time until, really what I saw was in the last, 6 or 7 years after the 2015, 2016 time, things really started to ramp up. And the biggest thing that I think really changed the population growth from those Denver, from some of those big cities, is the COVID. One nice part is everybody, or a huge majority of us, got to go remote on that side. We got to work from home. You got to choose actually where you wanted to live. You didn't have to live even in the same state that you had your job in, where originally for 99% of us, we had to move where our jobs were. That was a big reason for moving out to Kansas at one point, was to go out there, finish up some, school on that side, but also had some good job opportunities out there with a little bit cheaper living. lived out there for 3 years. Great place to live, but nothing like Colorado. And I know, coming from different areas of, you know, not fully always living here in Colorado, even living up in Montana on that side, Colorado has always been a place that I could come to and be very comfortable at, where some of the other places couldn't say the same on that side. So I think COVID really made a big difference on, you know, the people's movability, people being able to come in and out. And, you know, northern Colorado has seen a significant increase in people living here. We have seen a lot of new developments coming in. And, you know, right now, as of November 2023, things have slowed down. You know, this is the typical time in real estate for slowing down on homes on that side. But it is something that, you know, you want to be prepared for, because now is the time to come out and, you know, buy on that size, because things are slowing down. Interest rates are still high. You know, having a 7.5% to 8% interest rate is not the most ideal situation out there, but thank gosh prices have started to adapt and change to those as well. And so 100%, you know, I understand, you know, if you're thinking about moving to Colorado, Denver, Colorado Springs, and Fort Collins are your typical 3 places to kind of look around. But there are plenty of other great cities out there that are starting to offer a lot more amenities and are starting to become true cities with nice, you know, bumping downtowns, having a lot of family-friendly parks and recreation and open spaces. Like right now, I'm riding up through Horsetooth Reservoir in Fort Collins, Colorado. Nice famous road that just runs along the seven mile reservoir we have up here in northern Colorado that people go boating on. And they also have really nice shopping. Once you get out to Harmony Road in Fort Collins, you got some nice, you know, localized shopping out there. Loveland also has Centerra. Johnstown has Johnstown Plaza. And so northern Colorado used to be dead, used to have nothing out here. And that would be my second reason why people are moving out of Denver, is because these cities are starting to offer what Denver used to offer 20, 30 years ago. They are starting to have places like Fly Highs, which is a trampoline park for kids and young adults to go out and jump on some pretty fun trampolines. We have a lot of sports leagues, from adult leagues to kid leagues, for all different variety of sports on that side that you can get involved with, which was something typically you had to go down and do in Denver. You know, when I lived in Kansas City, in Baser, Kansas, small little town of 400 people, I drove 50 minutes to go play tennis down in Kansas City. It was well worth it on that side because the competition was better. There was more people to go out and play with on that. But here in Colorado, you're able to go out and play competitive sports or just recreational beer league sports pretty easily and be able to find people that you can really mash with. So my third reason why I would say, you know, Colorado has seen the population decrease, but other areas have not, is the fact that neighborhoods are getting kind of expensive. You know, living down in Denver is not a cheap place to live. Living in Boulder County is not a cheap place to live. And there's these towns are pretty much restricted by the inventory they have and, you know, the amount of people that want to live there. You know, hopefully as time goes on, it changes up where we start having more inventory and less demand in Denver and in Boulder, to where the prices kind of can get readjusted on that side. But Boulder has always been known as a very expensive place to live. And you have places like Longmont, that's a 20-minute drive to Boulder, that is typically where a lot of people end up going during the day. Is they'll go down to Denver or they'll go to Longmont and live in Longmont, either rent or buy, and then they'll work up in Denver. I even have people in Loveland, Colorado, which is probably about a 35 to 40-minute drive up to Boulder, coming and commuting from Loveland to Boulder to go work. And so, you know, having expensive neighborhoods is just a big downfall. So, like, for example, one of my biggest pet peeves, and sadly it's really the only way that you can go out and even build a new neighborhood, is having metro districts. You know, having an extra expense on taxes, you know, being about 1.2% to 1.3% of your actual value of your property. And, you know, your regular taxes in Loveland would cost around, you know, $2,000 to $3,000. If you live in a metro district, you're up at like $5,000 to $6,000, especially if you start heading towards the Fort Collins way. And so having neighborhoods like that where Denver has a lot of them because that's the only way they can build, and then having a lot of these, you know, small cities that don't have metro districts, might not even have HOAs in some of their neighborhoods on that side, and being able to get in and be able to afford easily, you know, a house there, and knowing that a 30-minute commute isn't gonna destroy your income where living in a Boulder County could on that side. So my last reason why I would say people are moving out of Denver, I mean, and everybody knows it on that, is traffic. I rarely go to Denver. I rarely go up to Breckenridge and the southern side of Colorado because of how bad it gets on that end. And so my goal is always to head north on that side. North is about the best place you can be, and if you're close enough to the foothills, heading west is not a bad option as well. Summertime, a little bit harder on that side because you will get the tourist groups up there going around and hanging out and doing a lot of hiking up there, but northern Colorado just has a small feel to it. Each town is still separate. There's a lot of open space up here. You're not jammed in with a lot of high rises. Even when I lived in Parker, Colorado, that is a massive city to be a part of. You feel like a number. Here you at least feel like you can be a part of the community. You got a bunch of community events, you got farmers markets, and the community here is just something you will not see in Denver. Anybody who's ever come from California, New York, Texas have all found this place to be one of the most friendliest places you can possibly live in Colorado in general. Now, I've heard good things obviously about some of the other small towns out east and going out there, but if you're really looking for a full encompassing town and area to live in to where you literally never have to go to Denver unless you work down there, that, you know, northern Colorado is a great option. And so those are my 4 reasons of, you know, don't believe that people are all just leaving Colorado because of it. It is expensive to live here. You know, when groceries are costing $100, you know, more than what I would ever expect them to on that side, when my gas for my truck is, you know, $100 to $110, yeah, those are the times that it really hurts. But there is plenty of opportunity job-wise out here. You know, we're starting to get a big major Amazon factory up here. We have a lot of manufacturing companies as well, engineering. If you're big into hospitals and nursing, you know, northern Colorado has a lot of that as well on that side. And so there is just plentiful opportunity. Yes, it's a little more expensive, but you get beautiful open spaces like this. You get to enjoy going up to Horsetooth Reservoir or Carter Lake, which is over in Loveland, to go out and go boating or swimming or just to go enjoy the scenery. Or there can be some amazing sunsets up there as well, up at Horsetooth Reservoir where we were just at. And so 100%, if you are thinking about moving because you no longer are stuck to one state for your job, definitely give Colorado a look. It's well worth it. And if you guys ever have any questions or concerns, or you guys just want a quick little tour, if you're actually thinking about purchasing a home out here, or even the idea of renting on that side, feel free to reach out to me, and I can definitely give guidance on that side and help you guys out as much as possible. Make your trip to Colorado 100% worth it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. We'll hit you guys up with another video next week, and if you guys could always help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, and throwing out a couple comments down below with some questions, I would always appreciate that. It helps my channel move forward, and we will talk to you guys next time.